Alrighty, today's video is probably another pointless video, but we're gonna turn it into a video because we can. So today is Tuesday, February 18th at 8:55 in the morning, and it is -8 outside. We'll just go ahead and go to that real quick. Yeah, it's -8 outside. We got an extreme cold warning right now, okay? So basically it's gonna be freaking cold as hell. We could get down as low as 32 below zero. That's Fahrenheit, or freedom units for people across the ocean. Anyway, it's freaking cold here. Right now it says it's -8. That's just the regular temperature, okay? If we go to the hourly, the real feel outside is -24 degrees freedom units, all right? So, yesterday we did get another probably 4 inches of snow, and we're not charging or anything right now, of course, because everything is covered in snow. I need to go do all the snow removal, which includes the driveway, you know, solar panels and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what we're going to do. I will probably use the snow buster or the roof rake or whatever it's called, and I will attempt to use the leaf blower if I can. Sometimes the leaf blower doesn't work. That's if the sun has come out and put like a crust. You know, it basically freezes over and that snow just doesn't move. That's the only reason I don't use the leaf blower in situations like this. We'll open up Solar Assist real quick. All right, so we are down to 34% state of charge. We're actually making 191 watts worth of solar. House load is basically 1500 watts. That's, you know, the house and the furnace, and I don't know if the water heater is on at all. It could be. We'll go over here and see which array and panels are doing what. The roof panels are doing 91 watts total, and then the ground mounts are doing 95 watts. I guess the main ones, of course, that I'm always interested in is the 415 watt Sirius bifacial panels, and that is on inverter 2 and array number 2, and we're only getting 35 watts right now, which is fine. I mean, they're completely covered in snow, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. There's like no sun really over there at all. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Got a little girlfriend back here that likes to help. Another thing we may or may not try is we might start the generator up and run that, because I literally haven't started it in at least 6 months. So it might not start, you know, at all anyway. Be a really, really good test just in case, you know, there was a situation, you know, that happened and the grid power did go out, because this is a real situation. This is actually how this whole battery and solar system stuff got started, was in a situation just like this. We had some snow, some really, really cold temperatures, and the power went out, okay? And we were completely without power. This is back in 2007 or 2008 whenever we first bought this house. You know, I was stuck. I had to go to the nearest wooded area, which is quite a few miles north, and gather any sort of wood that I could find so I could put it in the fireplace to burn that to keep warm. It kind of sucked. So ever since that day, I kind of made it a point or a promise to myself that I will never be in that situation again, and that's how all of this kind of started. Of course, back then, you know, it was all 12 volt, you know, lead acid batteries and a couple solar panels, stuff like that. But it did work. It worked for many, many years. And then lithium kind of became, you know, the new thing, which is fan-freaking-tastic, because lithium, holy crap, is way better, in my opinion, in most situations for, you know, battery backup and storage solutions, stuff like that. So anyway, we're going to go outside and clear some panels and possibly start up the old 5 kilowatt military diesel generator. I don't know if it'll start, but we'll give it a try. Alrighty, all bundled up and ready to go. And once I get the panels cleared off, I am going to do a temperature reading. However, I'll leave this inside so this doesn't get messed up, you know, and skew the temperatures. Here we go. partially out over there. You can see it. Gotcha. And I am going to push some off the top side towards the back so we can get some snow back there for the bifacial side of it, or the bifacial gains if we get any. All right, got the thermal laser, or whatever you want to call it. I'll set you, I don't know, right about there. We'll take a quick reading of the solar panels on Solar Assist. So now we're doing 593 watts total. Click on the inverter. So this array right now, right in the center on the right, is doing 366 watts. Again, the sun is behind all the trees and it's basically cloudy. All right, so minus 24, hopefully you can read that. Minus 24. Minus 25. Minus 27. All right, so the average was minus 23, but there was a couple random guys in there that were negative 27. And for you across the pond, that is minus 30 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. Somebody asked about voltages and stuff for this extreme cold. I'm not going to test a single panel right now. We're just going to do the whole array, and then we can divide that by 5, okay? So right now, this is doing 175. Oh, actually went up a little bit. Probably because the sun's getting a little brighter. 180 volts, okay? All right, if we do 180 divided by 5, that is 36 volts a piece right now, okay? Again, keep in mind for the sun location and how bright it is. That array that's completely covered up has got 369 volts. It's crazy. It's doing 134 watts. Nice. Probably should have grabbed my gloves again. In the last video, I mentioned I already augured some holes right here, so I can basically mimic this array right here. Of course, that is true. You can't see the holes right now, and I do have them covered up with some like boards and random stuff that I have, so no animals could fall in there. I just have to remember where they're at so I don't fall in them right now. Alrighty, that array is clear. Next, what I'm gonna do is go up on the roof. Again, I'll probably put that on a time lapse because it takes a couple of minutes. This snow is the light and fluffy stuff, so I should be able to use the leaf blower up there, but we'll find out. I did scrape down to the concrete down here. Hopefully the ladder won't slide out. I'm also going to put something up there so the ladder doesn't fall. Alrighty, just got done doing all the snow blowing. The time now is 11:38 and it says -5 out right now. We can see what the actual real feel is if you want to know. So it says it feels like -19, okay? Next thing we're going to do, take a look at the solar assist real quick. So now we're doing 2,900 watts of solar. So the roof is doing 2,181. And the ground mounts combined are doing 752. The one I'm obviously curious about is the Sirius panels, and those are doing 455 right now. And again, it's the same thing. There's the sun over there. You can barely see it. All right, so that's what we're making right now. The next thing I want to do is attempt to start the generator. I'm not going to clean it off really until I know it starts, which I don't know. I don't know what it'll do because I don't even know. I think it has the summer diesel in it, so I guess we'll see what happens. We'll let it prime a little bit. Oh, actually, there's preheat. I'm going to preheat. Okay, here we go. Wait for oil pressure. Wow. I am 100% surprised that started. Again, I haven't started it in at least 6 months, which is, I should be doing it every month, and I just don't, honestly. I'm gonna let that come up to temperature, and then we're gonna hook it up to the charge inverter and charge some batteries. Need to put some fuel in it. My fuel gauge still does not work. I have to obviously fix that. All right, let me put this gas can back and we will check the temperature. I think my eyelashes have icicles on them. All right, so a little over 100. We'll wait a little bit longer. All right, we'll wait a few more minutes. I guess we can go inside and make sure the charge inverter's connected. So we'll do that real quick. This side, and then the battery cable's down here on the bottom. Hook you up. Okay, charge inverter is hooked up. It's not turned on or anything like that. We'll go back outside and turn the breaker on for the generator. Hopefully the temperature is up there a little bit higher now. It's probably fine, whatever it is. Oh, did it shut off? Generator shut off. Uh-oh. All right, well, I'm not sure what happened. Unless somebody came out here and turned it off. I don't know why that was turned off. No idea. That's just how it works. Everything's working fine. You walk away to go inside real quick and you come back and, oh, it just shut off again. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? I bet the fuel lines are frozen or something in there. It's got to be fuel. I bet the fuel is gelled up in there. Let's see. I wonder if I have anything I can put in the fuel. Alrighty, I've got a little bit of this Howell's diesel treatment. This is, at least I thought it was the rescue one. I don't know. This is just some stuff that I have. I'll just throw this in there and hope that it helps. I don't think I have anything else right now. Yeah, but literally like everything in my garage is frozen. I'll throw this in there. I doubt it'll help since everything's already gelled up in there, but who knows? Yeah, it is. It says emergency formula on there, fast acting. Of course, we need it to get into the fuel lines. Yeah, this is why you run stuff every month. And if I did that, I probably would have put some diesel treatment in there earlier. But I didn't. Alright, I might have to sit out here and mess with this to get it going. I didn't have any luck. I was gonna take the temperature of the fuel filter and stuff like that, because I think that's what the problem is. It's probably completely gelled up. So that fuel filter is 9.5 degrees Fahrenheit. This one is 13. Fuel pump is 17. So I think that's technically what the problem is everything's kind of gelled up. So that's why it's not running long enough. If I could get it to run long enough to get that fuel treatment maybe into the fuel filter and stuff, it might work. But it's not like mandatory that I get it done today, because we do have the grid power, you know, for a backup, stuff like that. So, but if this was in a real, you know, emergency, then I would be out here doing everything I could to heat all of this up. You know, to make it work. I did bring out my little battery powered heat gun. I'm gonna just hit that for a couple minutes or however long and see if that does anything. Yeah, look at that. There's even ice dripping down right here. It is warming it up, but it's cooling down real quick. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen today. And again, this is 100% my fault, since I did not treat the diesel fuel before wintertime, which I should have done, but I didn't. Okay, I'll probably try it, you know, 1 or 2 more times, and then we'll call it a day. Probably won't run for very long. But if I could get it to run, you know, for 5 minutes or something, it would help heat the whole compartment up, and then hopefully warm up those fuel filters. so far.
The next day.
Alrighty, it is the very next day, and I was working on the generator again. Basically what I've done so far is I put a battery charger on it to charge up the batteries, of course, and then right after that I went out there with an actual heat gun, not my battery powered one, and I basically just heated up the lines as best as I could, and then the fuel filters, and then I tried starting it. It ran for maybe, I don't know, 10-15 seconds or something like that, and then it shut off. So I took the heat gun and just hit the lines and filter again real quick, maybe for like 2 minutes, and then I tried starting it again, and it started up, and it's still running at this moment. It's only been running for, yeah, it's still running. It's only been running for a couple of minutes so far. I'm hoping the engine bay will basically, you know, get hot enough to heat everything up inside. That way the diesel heat treatment can get through, you know, the entire system and kind of de-ice it or de-gel it. I think that's basically what it was, is the lines and the filters were gelled up. Okay, so we'll go over here and we'll check the temperature real quick.
Still got oil pressure, and our temperature is, I don't know, probably like 120 degrees.
Alrighty, so we are running. I'm gonna let it run for probably another 5 or maybe even 10 minutes to let it fully warm up, and then I'll bring out the cable and hook it up, and then we'll turn on the charge inverter and charge some batteries, because yesterday what I did is I went back on grid and I just let the solar, you know, charge up as much as we could. And we only got up to like 50 or 52%. I think it was around 6 o'clock or something like that. I went ahead and switched us back off grid. And then this morning we got all the way down to, you know, like 15% or something like that. So then it switched back over to grid. And we are currently on grid. And we are at 24% state of charge. And that's between these batteries and the ethos over here. All right, so I'm gonna let this warm up for a couple minutes, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, it's been a couple of minutes, not very long. Today's temperature I forgot to mention. We'll just take a look real quick. It is 1 and fair, it says. We're still under the extreme cold warning, but if we go under the hourly, we'll just check what the real feel is. Right meow, it says it feels like -16. All right, so it's still ridiculously cold out. Okay, we'll check in on solar assist so you can see exactly what's happening at the current moment. So we're sitting at 22% state of charge. I think I said 24 a minute ago, but it's 22. That's between all the batteries. Okay, solar is doing 2852, and we can check on that real quick and we can see what's doing what. Alright, so the roof arrays are doing 1770 and the ground mounts are doing 1075. Alright, the Sirius panels are doing 835 right now, so that's doing good. Alright, so I'm gonna go outside and hook up my cable to the generator. We'll come back inside here and connect or turn on the charge inverter, and we'll charge some batteries. These wires are so cold, they don't want to bend very well. Move the camera, you know, for better angles so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, that's good so far. We'll go inside and we'll turn on the charge inverter and See what happens. It is a cold one. All right, everything appears to be working so far. We're going to turn on the charge inverter and see if it stays running. All right, well, we're just going to flip it and see what happens. It says we're doing 73 amps already. 75, 76, 77. I don't even remember what it happened at. It might be like around 88. Alrighty, we've got 88 amps. Of course, none of this is going to be tracked with solar assist, so we just kind of have to basically say it's 5 kilowatt an hour, or a little bit less than that. But we can check on solar assist here real quick. Alright, so now... Oh, we just shut off. We might have kicked it out. Alright, well, let me... It's probably too much. Okay, let me turn down the charge inverter maybe. I changed it to 75 amps. Just basically lowering it a hair. We'll go outside real quick again, and I'm pretty sure I can hear it still running. It's probably too much. I probably should have started it a little bit lower, honestly. Maybe I should bring it down to like 50. Yeah, we're still running. All right, I don't know what's going on with this GoPro, but I'll be recording and then it'll automatically stop recording and say repairing file. So I don't know what's going on, but if it shut off before I mentioned anything, basically I lowered it to 55 amps, and that's probably what I should have done, is started it off much lower than just full sending. I guess that's probably why I blow things up, is I full send it. Anyway, it's holding 55 amps right now. I'm going to let it run like that for, I don't know, a little bit longer so it can warm everything up, and then I'll full send it back up to 88 amps. Time now is 11:02, and we're at 24% state of charge. Right there. I'm going to let it run like this for a couple of minutes, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, time now is 12:17 p.m. It's about an hour later. I was running it at, 55 amps, and the generator actually shut off. I'm not really sure why. So I went back out there and started it back up. Flip the contactor to send electricity or power this way, and then I lowered the charge inverter down to 25 amps and let it run like that for 30 minutes. I don't know, maybe it wasn't fully warmed up or whatever, because right now it is 3 degrees out. Okay, I ran it at 25 amps for about 30 minutes and there was no problem. So then I came back down here around 11:30 and bumped it up to 55 amps and let it run like that for another 30 or 35 minutes and no problems. So just a couple of minutes ago I just bumped it up to 75 amps, which I can show you maybe real quick if you can even see this little tiny screen. Probably not. So we're doing 75.6 amps. Alrighty, so we're doing about 75.6 amps, which is around, it's a little over 4,000 watts. Probably just gonna leave it like that and let it go. Okay, so anyway, we can check in on solar assist real quick. So like I said, time now is 12:19 p.m. and we're 3 degrees outside. Battery is at 37% state of charge, 53.3 volts. Just a couple of minutes ago, maybe we have a cloud. I saw like 7,000 watts of solar, but we only have 4,400 watts coming in right now. And we can check in over here and see what we got. Alright, so again, if you forgot, inverter 1 is all the roof mount and inverter 2 is all the ground mount. Okay, so roof is making 2,000 watts and ground mount is making 2,381 watts. Alright, so, look at that, MPP2, 2,093 watts. That's the Sirius panels, and we're getting more than what we're advertised. We're supposed to get around 2,075 watts. That's the 415 watts out of each panel. But if we go over that, we start getting the bifacial gain. So we were just a hair over that, which is pretty awesome. I think that's actually the highest I've ever seen out of those panels. But right now we're doing 2,081, which is 6 whole watts over the 415 watts that they are supposed to do. So that is doing fan-freaking-tastic. Again, it's not, I don't think we're getting like 100% direct sunlight. It might be off to the side a little bit. I want to say around 2 o'clock is a better time, if I remember right. But anyway, we're doing really, really good with those panels. Yeah, so I would say everything is doing fan-freaking-tastic. So we're getting 4,342 watts plus the 4,000 watts from the charge inverters. Almost 9,000 watts of power coming in. That's not bad for wintertime, at least in my area, my neck of the woods. Alrighty, well there you go. I'll probably just leave it like this for a good couple of hours, get the generator all nice and fully warmed up, etc. I'll just let it go for, you know, however long, and then I'll just do some random check-ins. Alrighty? I'll see you in a second. Actually, I think what we're gonna do real quick is go outside and just take a look at the generator, take a look at the temperatures and all that kind of fun stuff. I was just talking to my dad, and he mentioned maybe I could put something in front of like the radiator and stuff like that to prevent, you know, super cold air from coming in and keeping the unit cool. Maybe if we kind of cover it up a little bit, everything inside will get nice and hot. You know, diesels do like to run pretty hot. I know with my older diesel truck that I had, in the wintertime, we'd always put a front cover over the radiator, you know, to keep the diesel warm. I don't know if we're going to do that, but we're just going to go out there and take a look at the temperatures and all that kind of stuff. One thing that's kind of nice is I'm standing in my garage right now. If I turn around this way, the microphone is facing towards the generator. It's pretty quiet. I mean, part of that quietness is because I've got a trailer in the way, but still, it's pretty quiet. Okay, anyway, let's see what we got for temperatures and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I'd say we're doing real good. 180. Oil pressure's good. Our hertz is a little high. We could actually bump it up, I think, if we want to. Maybe we'll bump it up. All right, it's actually doing really, really good, and we're not running at, you know, the full 5,000 watts. The hertz are a little high, but I think I have it set a little high because whenever I run it at the, you know, 80% or 100% mark, the hertz kind of goes to 60 hertz whenever I'm running, you know, at a full load. So we could maybe bump it up a little bit and see what happens. Let's do it. That's 85. Yeah, we'll do 85. Okay, of course it's going to reset and then slowly ramp up again. 85.8. Let's back up. We'll go back outside and just take a look at the gauges on the generator real quick. Right, so hertz did get a little closer, so that's good. We're just under the 100% mark. And we're at just slightly above or right at 240. Nice. Temperature over here looks good. Oil pressure looks good. Everything looks good. Alright, maybe I can use that for a thumbnail. Hopefully it doesn't kick out. Yeah, I'm just going to shut the garage and let it go. Full send. Alrighty, you know how a couple minutes ago I said I saw like 7,500 watts of solar coming in, and then when I looked on here, I wasn't getting it, and I'm showing you right here. Time now is 12:43. If I go over to the graph here, that's as close as I can get. We were doing a little over 7,000 watts, okay? But you can see those peaks, those ups and downs. All right, so in green, you can see the peaks and valleys of when the solar power went up and down, stuff like that, okay? I think that's whenever I changed the generator from 25 amps, and then I went to 55 amps, and then I went to 75 amps. Might be what's happening here. I'm not sure why it would happen, but I think it is happening. So what I'm gonna do real quick, check in on here. Oh, look at that, the Sirius panels are doing 2,113 watts. That's the most I've ever seen. Also, I was gonna mention real quick is I should be getting a lot more, but MPPT 1 and 3 on inverter 1, they're not outputting very much. So I'm thinking there might be just a little bit of snow on the panels, even though I cleared them off yesterday. It's been windy, so I think there might be there has to be a small glaze of snow over those panels, which maybe I'll have to go up there and check. But before I do that, I want to see what happens to the solar power whenever I lower the generator input from the charge inverter. Okay, so let me do that real quick. We're gonna just see what happens to the solar power. All right, I'm going to lower this down to 25 amps. Boom. All right, now I want to see what happens to the solar. Or it could have been because of the state of charge. I'm not sure. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to shut off the generator. I probably could have just done that first time. 56. I'm going to do the actual raise. 58. Yeah, there's got to be snow on the other two arrays up there, the Santan and the Jinko panels. Because they should be doing at least 2,000 watts or close to that each right now. But I'm really happy with those Sirius panels right now, 2,100 watts. Nice. Come on, go back up to 7. There's 6,000 watts. 64. Okay, well, let's around to change that to we have an E5. It's just kind of bouncing around, so we're going to turn that back on. Right. Oh, look at that. Now we're at 7,200 watts of solar coming in. I knew it. I knew we had more power in there. Generator's at 35 right now. 7,900 watts. Look at that. MPP3 went up to 1,900. 8,400 watts. Maybe that snow's starting to melt. The other thing I was going to try was I was going to shut off the solar on the inverter for 10-20 seconds and then turn it back on. Okay, I don't know, maybe I was smoking crack. Crack is whack. All right, generator is back up to 85 amps. Sirius panels 2110. It's not bad for 5 panels. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not sure why those dips in the solar power were there. I thought it correlated with whenever I turned on and off the generator, but maybe not. Now we're back down to 5,300 watts. 8,600 watts. We're just bouncing all over the place.
Later, in the void.
Alrighty, time for an update, and I'll just throw Solar Assist right up on the screen for you. Okay, so time now is 4:02 p.m. and it is 5 degrees out. Alright, so I just got done running outside and shutting off the generator just a couple of minutes ago, and it's been running fine ever since, or all day, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Finally got that fuel treatment into all the lines and all the fuel filters. It better have, because I mean it ran for 5 hours basically. We should be good to go. All right, anyway, we'll give you a quick update what we have on here. So battery is at 93% state of charge. Nice. That was kind of like my goal today of fully charging the batteries, or really close to it, and 93% and still charging is good, although we probably won't be charging for much longer in the day. Anyway, batteries are at 53.6 volts, and we are bringing in a little under 2,800 watts of solar. If you would like to see the solar arrays, we can do that. So the roof array is doing 1,649, and the ground mounts are doing 1,180 watts. So inverter 2, array 2, those are the panels that I'm more interested in, again, right now, because they're the newest, and they're the bifacial panels, the Sirius panels. Those are still doing 707 watts, and I guarantee the sun is way over there, about to go down behind the trees and the little hill over there. So 704 watts at this time is fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah, that's basically what we have here today, and I want to go back to the main screen on the dashboard and a little bit of the graphs. Right about somewhere around 8 o'clock, we went back on grid, because the battery percent state of charge went all the way down to 15%. Once we switched over to grid, the inverter started charging the batteries at 500 watts. I think that's just part of the protocol that that I'm using for these batteries over here. Anyway, what I was going to say is, for some reason I thought I was on grid the entire time, but right around 11:50 we went back off grid. I'm guessing because we got up to at least 40% state of charge, or maybe it's 30% state of charge. I don't remember what the protocol is. Somewhere it's either 30 to 40% state of charge. This will automatically put you back off grid, which is great. And I didn't even notice that until roughly 1:20 in the afternoon. So once I noticed that, I did switch myself back over to grid because, again, I wanted to fully charge the battery bank. So then we were on grid basically until like 5 minutes ago. I went and switched this back off grid. If you would like to see any of the other graphs and stuff for the solar arrays, here's my battery percent state of charge. Like I said, this morning we were at 15%. And right now we're at 93% state of charge. So we threw some power in there for winter time. Let me scroll down. I want to go down to the Sirius panels real quick, and I just want to look at that curve. The array 2 power, we'll put that one in green so it's a little easier to see. All right, there you go. That's what the Sirius panels did. And I think we were at like a little over 2100 watts today, which is the most I've ever seen from those panels ever. A little over almost 2100 right there. But that's what that array did today. A little over 2000 watts, which is fan-freaking-tastic. We go back over to right here. You can see our PV production today was 35.3 kilowatt hour, and we're still counting, but I honestly don't think it'll be much more than that. See, the whole week so far, today is Wednesday, we've only done 57.3 kilowatt hour. Literally this winter has been mostly cloudy, so it's just been a terrible winter for solar. And especially this past week because we've gotten snow twice, kind of some dustings in between, etc. So panels were covered most of the time. How do I change this? Maybe I should switch over to the computer. I might switch over to the computer app because I don't use this one very often, and I don't really know how to use it. Maybe I'll switch over to the computer app to show you total kilowatt hour, per array, at least for the Sirius panels. Again, because that's what I'm kind of focused on right now, since they're the newest panels, and I actually purchased some, and they're bifacial. All right, anyway, other than that, I don't really remember what the whole point of this video was, other than having some fun in the snow and being prepared, for basically any type of situation. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this whole scenario right now is kind of how the whole battery backup and stuff got started. It was super cold, it was snowy, and we lost power, in the wintertime, and it sucked. And I made a vow to myself that I will never, ever be in that situation again. And this is kind of where it's ended up at so far. And I just want to share what I've learned over the past, 15 or so years with all of this kind of stuff. And I'm still learning, obviously, to this day. And that also brings up another thing is, obviously, I don't know everything. So if there's, other things that I'm not thinking about, or I missed, be sure to put those down in the comment section. I still do read every single comment. I try to respond to every single comment, but just keep in mind I don't even know how many videos I've got, so I'm always responding to comments. I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, I guess real quick, we'll hop over to the computer app and take a look at the kilowatt hour produced, per day type of thing, if you want to see it. I don't know if you guys want to see it, but I'm going to throw it up there anyway. Alrighty, we're going to hop on the computer real quick, and just keep in mind this is actually in the future. Today is Friday, February 21st, and up on the screen I just have the last couple of days. It is actually the 18th to today, so from Tuesday to Friday. Okay, all right, so right down here you can see load power is in blue, grid power is in red, and PV power is in yellow. Okay, all right, let me explain kind of how I use my system, at least how it's set up right now and for my conditions here in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, so since we don't have a lot of sun, I've got all the trees and stuff over there. Again, it's winter time. It's typically cloudy most of the time. So what I typically do is, actually you can see it right here in red. A lot of the times, whenever we get like peak sun, stuff like that, I'll actually switch back over, kind of like time of use. I'll switch back over to grid just so I can get as much solar power as possible to recharge the batteries. I will typically set the inverter to a 1 or 200 watt charge because whenever you put it on grid, it wants to charge anyway. So I'll put it really, really low just so I'm not using extra power. I'll go on grid for a couple of hours and let the batteries charge up, and then typically around this one is actually 7 o'clock, I went back off grid basically through the night, and then I kind of do the same thing. I'll go back on grid for a couple of hours during the peak sun time just so I can recharge the batteries as much as possible, and then whenever the sun goes down, I'll switch it back off grid. And then if we just don't have any sun whatsoever, then I'll just leave it on grid with that 1 or 200 watt charge, until the batteries are, whenever I feel like going back off grid again. But anyway, that's typically how I use my system in the wintertime, since I don't have I got a bunch of solar panels out there I need to set up, and hopefully I can stay off grid, but I just haven't been able to do it quite yet. So anyway, all right, so Tuesday, the start of this video, we had basically everything was covered up in 4 or 5 inches of snow. Once we got that uncovered, probably around 11 o'clock, we'll say, I would say most of the panels were uncovered, and that's usually whenever I start getting the sun coming over the trees and stuff like that, and then I start charging for winter time. That's like my best time, is for like 11 till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So that's what we did right here, okay? And then the very next day, which would be Wednesday, same thing, I went on grid to start the test and start charging from solar, and I wanted to get the generator running so I could charge from the generator as well. And then you can see, like I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, where I thought I was off grid, but I wasn't. I went on grid again for a couple of hours. Again, that's just because if you have it in the off-grid or normal operating mode on these 18 kPVs, if you drop down to your low percent state of charge, which will kick you back on grid, that's what it did at 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, and then right around 11:46, we reached probably 30 or 40%. I don't remember what the protocol does on these batteries, but once you reach that percent state of charge, it'll take you back off grid again. So that's what happened for those couple of hours, and then I just happened to see it because I'm doing everything else. I just didn't see it. Once I did notice it, I did put us back on grid just so I could fully charge the batteries, since they've been so low for the past couple, I don't know, week or so. I just wanted to get a full charge. Alrighty, and then so we were back on grid for the rest of the day. Roughly 4 o'clock is whenever I turned off the generator, and then I switched us to the off-grid mode. And then I've been off-grid basically the following day, which would be Thursday, and I'm still off-grid for Friday. Okay, so that's what this upper chart up here represents. I do want to scroll down. You can see all of my battery percent state of charge. All right, so the beginning of the day for Tuesday, I was at 54% state of charge. And then we went all the way down to 31. And then we went back up to 52. All right. And then we went all the way back down to 15% state of charge. So that's like the combined percent state of charge between the Ethos batteries and the Orient Power and the Global Power battery. Okay, that's just an average between the both. I know the Ethos batteries are actually a slightly lower percent state of charge, since those ones aren't directly connected to the 18 kPV. Those ones are connected to the 6,000 watt inverter that's laying on the ground still. So it does a combination of the both for solar assist, since they're both in here. From that day, we were using the generator and solar, and technically a little bit of grid, but it was only like 100 or 200 watts. And we got up to 93% state of charge. Alrighty, and then we slowly went down to the following day, and we got down to 47% state of charge. and then we started recharging again. We only got up to 76% state of charge, and that's solar only. All right, and then last night we got down to 29% state of charge, and we are slowly ramping up, and it's probably another percent or two higher right now, but technically it says we're at 32% state of charge. All right, and then down here, again, like I keep saying, I'm more interested in the Sirius solar panels, not only because Signature Solar sent me some of those, you know, to test out and stuff like that. Of course, I broke one. I'm really happy with these panels so far, and they come with a really good warranty, so I did end up buying 13 more. I got the 13 because I broke that other one, and I wanted to have basically what I was going to do is have 2 arrays of 12 panels. I don't know if that's actually going to work now with the ground mounts out there, but we'll worry about that later. So anyway, I'm going to change inverter 2 over to green so it's easier to see. All right, so this is on Wednesday the 19th. I know we got, there we go, 2.11, so 2,110 watts from the Sirius solar panels. Okay, that's pretty damn good for 5 panels. And then Thursday, again, we got up to not quite as much. It looks like 2,050 watts. All right, I would say those panels are doing really, really good. All right, and then if you want to see the total for both roof and ground mount, put those in green, we got up to, let me zoom in here, around 8.57 thousand watts, so 8.5 kilowatt during the peak of the day. So that's, again, that's not bad for my neck of the woods in wintertime, okay? All right, so next thing I'll do real quick is I'm just gonna go over to the Lux Power app. For me, it's a little easier to do on the computer. All right, so this is just the production only for PV2, which again is the Sirius panels. Again, like I said, it's super cloudy basically all the time. I'm not getting very much for a good portion because it's so cloudy. Starting around day 5, I think that's when we got our first snow. So obviously it went down to 0.5 kilowatt hour total that day. All right, and then we probably had snow again on the 12th. So we got 0.4 kilowatt hour, and then I went and cleaned it out for the very next day, and we got 9.8 kilowatt hour. And then I'm guessing we had a whole bunch of clouds, etc. And then on the 17th, we got some more snow. And then I cleared them off, and I think it was still pretty much cloudy the entire day, which I kind of think, and I kind of think the 18th was at the end of the last video, where we were just kind of checking in, and I was only getting like 500 watts or something like that. All right, so Wednesday, it looks like we got 10.3 kilowatt hour. That was the day with the generator and all of that stuff. And then Thursday we got just an even 10, and then today so far we've only gotten 1.8 kilowatt hour. Alrighty, and then we can hop back over to Solar Assist, and that will track basically all the solar power that is coming in through those 2 inverters over there. I'm not going to go over, you know, every single day. But you can see the solar PV is going to be right here, and then my grid usage right here. So like I said, some days, you know, there's no sun or anything like that, so we have to go back on grid. So look at this. On February 17th, we used 46 kilowatt hour in one day. To me, that's a lot. Oh crap, down here is 53.9. That is a lot. I'm gonna say on these really, really high days are days that we use the stove and probably the dryer quite a bit. I also installed an electric water heater. I'm not gonna tell you all the details on that yet. I did have a gas water heater, and it basically crapped out, and then I switched over to an electric one. I do have a video coming out on that, so our electric usage is going to be a little bit higher now. So anyway, all right, so here's my PV coming in. It actually looks like the 20th was a really good day, so we got 39.3 kilowatt hour. That's pretty good. The day before was 37. I mean, look at that. I mean, we're just not getting a whole lot. We're actually using, you know, more than we can produce right now. But we are headed towards, you know, springtime and summer, and these numbers are just going to skyrocket from here. All right, so there you go. That's all the information that we can track through these 2 apps right here.
I don't know if it's useful for anybody, I guess really except for me, but I think the main reason why I share it is if somebody is in a similar situation, you don't have, the best, solar panel rack angles, you got a lot of trees in your yard, etc. This is what you can kind of expect in the wintertime, in a similar situation. So you can still be off grid a good portion of the time, but you are going to use the grid. If you don't have the grid available, then you're going to want a good generator. Of course, I'm going to recommend a diesel generator, and I probably would not go any lower than a 5 kW generator. That's what I have outside. If I were smart enough, I would upgrade to a minimum of a 10 kW, but honestly, that's just what I could afford. I paid $1,500 for a used diesel generator. Luckily, it did work, as soon as it was delivered. The only thing I had to do was replace the batteries. Other than that, it's been running great. Of course, I did do, the regular maintenance and stuff like that, change the oil and filters and all that kind of stuff, and it's been running great basically ever since I bought it, except for the other day. Again, that's 100% my bad. I should have treated the fuel for wintertime. All right, well, that's pretty much all I got, other than if anybody's looking for, inverters, solar panels, batteries, charge inverters, basically anything from Signature Solar, you can save $50 on any purchase over $500 through my affiliate link. There's no codes or anything that you have to remember anymore. Basically, you just click on the affiliate link and it'll automatically apply the $50 off, if you spend $500 or more. Of course, I do 100% appreciate that, because if you're not aware how affiliate links work, is, if you buy something through my affiliate link, I do get a small kickback for that, okay? So basically, if you do use my affiliate link, you are directly supporting me. It doesn't cost you anything at all. You're just directly supporting me. Honestly, that's how I get paid for doing YouTube videos. Since I quit my regular job, I 100% rely on anybody and everybody using, any of my affiliate links. And then there's other months when, nobody buys anything, and I really don't get paid. I don't get a paycheck, basically. I work for less than minimum wage. Now, I'm not telling you that because I'm desperately asking you to use an affiliate link. I'm just telling you how affiliate link works, and and how YouTubers get paid. Alrighty, well, that's pretty much all I got. Hopefully this video was informational, and hopefully it'll help you be a little more prepared for wintertime and solar and generator usage. Alright, that's it. Don't forget to like that smash button on your way out, and I will see you on the next.
A lot of starting and stopping, because you got to take off your gloves so you can use the key on the gate, turn the camera on. So I don't know, we'll see how the editing goes on this one. All right, got those all cleared off. I'm gonna go grab the thermometer. Let me get back over here. Ow.